Good afternoon, everybody. We're live here, and for the next 40 minutes or so, I will be answering all your questions about English grammar, English vocabulary, any questions you have about British culture or me, anything you want to know. Put your questions in the chat box, and I will do my best to answer as many questions as possible. As I said, I'll be here for about 40 minutes, more or less. So I'm looking forward to the live lesson. It's been a long time since I did a lesson, but it felt a good opportunity. We have just reached 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you're not subscribed already, click subscribe. And I always like to take advantage of moments like this, 50, 60, 100,000 subscribers, to do a live event for you to answer your questions. So we have a few people here already. While you are entering and getting comfortable, put your questions in the chat box. And before we start, I will just mention an invitation I have for you, which is to 30-day fluency challenge, which I'm doing, which it starts tomorrow. It starts on Monday. Today is the last day to sign up for this if you are interested, which I think you will be, because you are here to improve your English with me. Basically, I will give you a quick introduction about this, and then we will start with the questions. So this course, or challenge really, is a WhatsApp group which I run. It lasts for 30 days, and for every day inside the challenge, you will get one English task. And this will work on your speaking, listening, reading, writing, all different skills of English. And you will be with a community of other students like you who are motivated to improving their English this year. And accountability is a big part of this. We all want to complete the challenge. We all want to do this one task every day for 30 days. And you will be accountable for your own progress and progress of your fellow colleagues, your fellow challengers. So it's basically for motivated students. If you are motivated, then this could be a good opportunity for you to give your English a real boost to start this year. If you have an intermediate level and you want to take it to advanced, then again, this is a good choice for you. And you need to be dedicated to spending around 15 or 20 minutes every day on your English, which is not too much to ask if you really are serious about improving your English. So, as I said, it will give you quick progress to start 2022. You will be doing one task every day for 30 days, and that will give you definite results. You will notice the difference, and will also develop language learning habits. So you're going to learn skills and techniques that you can use during the course, during the month, but also in the future, that will help you become a successful language learner. So you're going to get daily tasks inside the group. You will get a challenge buddy, somebody to work with during the month to motivate, somebody who will keep you motivated. You will get a fluency planner too, to keep you on track. And you get a weekly live group session with me and the other challengers via Zoom. So we will do that every Monday. What's the price? Well, it's only €1 per day for 30 days. It's the same as a loaf of bread, a small coffee, not a lot of parking, and a bag of sweets. So it's not a lot, but the benefits are going to be great. You're going to see a big immediate improvement to your English to start 2022, and gain habits and the routine that will help you to continue improving throughout the year. So the link is in the description. If you want to join me, then today is the last day to register. At midnight in Europe, registration closes. So click the link if you are interested in the description. Okay, now then, we have a good 40 people already here, and people from all over the place. Let me know where you're from in the comments too. Pakistan, Brazil already. We have Indian people from all over the world. So let's get started with some of your questions. Okay, let's have a look. Right then, first question is this one from Thuvi. Mission impossible, is that grammatically correct? Should adjectives come before nouns? So it should be impossible mission. Yes, when we are talking normally in a sentence, then we would say that this is an impossible mission. But the key here is in the colon, the 2 dots. And this is mission dot impossible. Okay, that's why we do it in this way. It's because mission is like the title, 2 dots, and then we're describing it. Impossible. Okay, hi to Esther and Vikas. Another question from Thu. How do we pronounce this? That's a important question these days. The English pronunciation is Omicron. Omicron. I am virus. Can I say this? No. If you are suffering from the virus, then you have to say, I have the virus, I have Omicron, I have coronavirus, but not I am virus. And how are you and where are you from? Well, I'm fine, thank you. It's been a busy start to the year, and I am from the north of England in a small town in Yorkshire, in a small town called Mirfield. What type of people are there in the UK? Are they friendly or not? I think, to my knowledge, I think that the reputation of English people is that they are a little bit distant. That is the idea that a lot of people have. It's not true. I'm not sure I understand. Oh, Siri is joining. It's not true. They're very friendly people. People maybe think they're distant because we don't have a lot of, well, we respect personal space. We don't give 2 kisses. We're not big huggers. We don't hug too much. And we don't shake people's hands when we see them. We like to keep a little distance. But when you know people or when you live near these people, then yes, they're very friendly. Another reason people think they're not friendly is because maybe if you go to London on holiday, nobody's going to talk to you because London has different rules. London is full of people who are busy. They're going to work. They don't talk to people. But if you go outside the capital and to smaller towns, you will meet very friendly people. My name is Greg. As Berenice knows, hi Berenice, nice to have you. Berenice is in my daily quick fix group, who is also, I had Romelia in my daily quick fix group a few months ago. Good to have you here. Right then. Ihor, if that's your correct pronunciation. Do you have to know English well if you want to travel? For example, when you arrive at the airport in the US or so on, there are people who ask you something in English or not. So if you want to, I think it's important to know some basic English, of course, if you want to travel to England. The thing is, if an English person goes to travel to Thailand, for example, or Vietnam or Spain, you'll always have the signs in English too. You'll have it in the local language and English. So it's different if you are going to England or you are going to the US. They might have the signs in Spanish in the US. In England, I don't think they have it in anything other than English. So I definitely recommend you learn some typical English vocabulary related to travel if you are going to England or the US. Okay, question from Berenice. After the word might, is it always the infinitive with to? For example, I might to go. I might to eat. No, never, in fact. After might, it's the infinitive without to. I might go, I might eat, she might come, they might arrive. So no to. Okay. Hello. We have a few people who are joining for the first time here, or the first time live. So welcome. Always good to have you. And I do love these live events. So even if you don't have a question, just say hello in the chat. I love hearing from you, and I love hearing where you are from. Aurelio will be back. That's great to hear. And Mladen wants to know, who are you cheering on in football? A good way to ask this question is, who do you support? Who do you support? Or who's your favourite football team? And the answer is Liverpool, who were playing just before this game, just before this lesson. Liverpool is my team. Just a question about the challenge from Sai Kumar. How much to pay from Indian rupee? I don't know the different conversions in different currencies, but I use a website called XE, like X, elephant, xe.com. That can convert the money to your local currency. A couple of days, a couple means two. So a couple of days means 2 days. Small town people have a big heart. Are you agree with me? Do you agree with me or not? Yes, I agree with you. Absolutely. Small town people. I love small town people. I like walking down the street and people say, hello, Greg. That's what I like. So a question here. You lived in Spain. Actually, I currently live in Spain now, and I'm from England. So what's the difference about both countries and their culture? A lot. I could do a big video about that, actually, but many differences. Spanish people or Spanish life takes place outdoors a lot. You see lots of people in the street, people in cafes, sitting out, people in bars having a drink with like old people, middle-aged people, young people, all together. I think it's a very family orientated place too. That kind of thing doesn't happen so much in England. You go to a cafe or the pub, and it's normally the same group, age group of people there, having a drink. Family is important, but we don't have so much tradition of eating with the family, visiting the family every week, living in the same city as our family. In England, we tend to live in different parts of the country to our family. So that's the biggest difference, in my opinion. Okay, so here's a question that I made a correction this week to one of my students. The pronunciation of these two words is exactly the same. Flower and flower. Flower in the garden and flour that you use to cook. Flower, flower. We say homophones. Homophones, these are words which sound exactly the same, but they have a different spelling. We write them in a different way, but their pronunciation is exactly the same. And when I say exactly, I mean exactly. If you try to pronounce one a little bit different because you think it's important that the other person understands the one that you are talking about, if you try to make a little difference, they probably won't understand you. I made the same mistake when I was learning French. I thought, I want them to know the word that I'm trying to say, so I will just change my pronunciation a little bit so that they know the word I'm using. Doesn't work. Okay, flower, flower, exactly the same. Okay, hello, Magdalena from Bulgaria. Beautiful country. Is it difficult to get a British passport? I have no idea. I was born there. I have one. I have to go to the USA. Now that's difficult to get a USA passport, but great place to live. Hello, Letizia from Italy. Right, Esther Lorente, could you explain a rule about prepositions at the end of a sentence? This is a topic, this is a rule that you should follow in written English. For example, in written English, in a formal written English, you shouldn't write things like, who are you going with? Who are you going with? Okay, because an official rule of English is that we don't end the sentence with a preposition. So when you're writing formally, you need to restructure the sentence so that the preposition comes earlier in the sentence. For example, instead of who are you going with, you need to say with whom are you going? Now, this is formal and it's an official rule that that was created for English centuries ago. In modern spoken English, nobody follows that rule. Everybody puts prepositions at the end. Who are you going with? Is the most common way of saying that, for example. Okay, so he wants to know about the education system in England, and again, that's a huge topic. Could you give me a slightly more specific question? Because I could talk about the education system for I don't know, an hour maybe. So just got any specific questions? I will be happy to answer that. Freddie Wolf. First time online with you. Watched many great lessons. You're doing an amazing job. Very nice. Thank you, Freddie. Good to have you here. And thanks for your nice comments. Okay. Nelia or Nelia, how many languages do I speak? Well, English is my mother tongue. I speak French. I studied French at university. That was my main subject at university. And I lived in France for 1 year. I then moved to Spain, and I've lived in Spain for many years, and my wife is Spanish, and so I speak English, French, and Spanish, but Spanish is my strongest language, strongest foreign language at the moment. I also studied Italian, so I speak a little bit of Italian too. So 3 foreign languages. Galician, also Galician is a local language here, and I don't really speak Galician, but I can understand it okay, not as well as Spanish, but I can understand it okay. All right, the pronunciation of this in British English is rural, rural. I think when you have difficult words, it's good to break it up into different sounds. So this one has 4 sounds. Or, ooh, 5 sounds. Or, ooh, rural, rural. Okay, so what's the difference between work out, make out, figure out, and iron out? Well, they're all completely different phrasal verbs. Work out has many meanings. One is to like do exercise in the gym. Make out again has many different meanings. One of them is understand. I can't make out what you're saying. I can't really hear. I can't understand you perfectly. Figure out is the same as like understand. I can't figure out this problem. I can't understand this problem. And iron out is like solve. We need to iron out this problem, is we need to solve this problem. But there are different meanings of many phrasal verbs, like work out, make out, both have many different meanings. Could you explain me the difference between my friend and a friend of mine? Yeah. If you say my friend, it could mean that you only have one friend. You could specify, you could say my friend from the gym, my friend from school. Or if we're having a conversation and we have already defined this person, then I can refer to him as my friend. But if you're just telling me that an unspecified friend, like you have many friends, and one of them did something, you can say, oh, a friend of mine did something. So it's an unspecified friend. Okay. Mustafa says, I've got dozens of fans in Egypt. Egypt is I visited Egypt in 2006, I think. Wow, one of my most favorite holidays was to Egypt. Absolutely fascinating, beautiful country. So hello, Egypt. Right, just having a look at some more questions here. That's an interesting question. How long will it take to reach C2 from C1? Now, if you are unfamiliar with the different levels of English, C1 and C2 are both considered advanced. C1 is lower advanced, but it's a really good level. And if you have a C1 level in a foreign language, you should be really proud, because it means you can have easy conversation with people. You can understand almost everything. You can talk about a very wide range of topics, professional, personal. You can read texts, newspapers, and understand most things. It's quite a, you have fluency, or the ability to easily communicate in English. C2 is near native, okay? Near native. So when you, I think, for example, my French possibly reached a C2 level, possibly. And I studied at university for 4 years. I lived in France for 1 year. And I think if I took the C2 exam, I don't know if I would have passed. With Spanish, I have the C2, but I lived in Spain for 2 years, speaking Spanish all the time. It's really, really, you speak, in my opinion, when you're speaking C2, you don't speak using your brain, you speak from your heart. Okay, it's like, yeah, like a native, or as near as a native speaker as you can get. Very difficult. You need to know very small differences between different words, very, very colloquial, informal expressions. It's a fantastic level to have. Yeah, I don't know many people with a C2 level in English. Okay, thank you, Vina. I liked your video of advanced conditional sentences. Yeah, this summer I did 6 or 7 videos on conditionals. I did 1 video for each of the conditionals, including one which was with advanced conditionals. So if you haven't seen those already, I recommend you watch them. I like this. What does the verb want mean in this sentence? You don't want to insult him. It may be the last thing you will ever do. This means I highly recommend that you don't insult him. It may be the last thing, because if you insult him, he might kill you. It will be the last thing you ever do, okay? I strongly recommend you don't insult him. So you don't want to do that. That's an expression that means I highly recommend you don't do that. You don't want to do that. Good question. Okay. No sooner. That's a nice expression that we use in an advanced grammatical structure called inversion, because we invert the 2 parts of the sentence. So we begin the sentence with no sooner, then we make the inversion. So instead of he had arrived, he had, we change it, we invert it. Had he. No sooner had he arrived, no sooner had he arrived. I'm having a mental block here. Then the second part of the sentence is normal. That he fell. Like, no sooner had he arrived, that he fell. I'm not sure about that. To be honest, it's an advanced expression. I don't really use that too much. But these inversion sentences are really, really good, really advanced. And if you want to pass an advanced exam like C1 or C2, I definitely recommend learning some inversion so that you can impress the examiner with inverted or inversion in your speaking, in your writing, It looks really, really good. I would appreciate it if you could recommend any good accent channel, especially South British accent and American, on YouTube. One British English pronunciation teacher from the South that I like is Elliot from ETJ English, and an American one. Well, my favorite American English teacher is Vanessa. Speak English with Vanessa. I love her channel, and she's really nice. Okay. Freddie Wolf. I love that name. Could you tell us whether you teach only the English language in the country you live or other languages as well? I only teach English. Yeah. Many, many years ago, I taught a little bit of French. I have also taught a little bit of Spanish in the past, but generally, I only teach English. This is a brilliant question. Is it true that native speakers usually even don't know that there is a gerund in English? Native speakers don't usually know that there is a gerund, prepositions, articles, phrasal verbs, tenses. It's incredible that in England, we don't learn grammar. We don't learn English grammar. So if you're talking to not an English teacher, but like a normal English person in England, and you talk about a preposition or an article or an indefinite article or a phrasal verb, they probably don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy, but yeah. But you know what? I remember when I was learning French, I didn't really learn these words like preposition. I remember my teacher saying, "Okay, today we're going to learn about prepositions." And he would write prepositions on the board, and everybody would write, "Oh, preposition." I remember thinking, I don't care what it's called. Just tell me what it is and how to use it. And I remember when I was a kid, I got angry at words like these grammar definitions. I was just like, I don't care. Just teach me how to speak. Um, so that's certainly possible to reach a good level of English without worrying too much about the terminology like gerund. Nelly Bautista. How can I use adverbs of frequency with used to and would? In my English textbooks, I found sentences like this. My mother usually would take me to the park when I was a child. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Adverbs of frequency, like usually, always, sometimes, never, they they come directly before the main verb. Main verb. So in this sentence, my mother usually would take me. The main verb is take. So we put the adverb of frequency directly before that. So personally, I would say my mother would usually take me to the park. My mother would often take me to the park when I was a child. Same with used to. I used to often say hello to the neighbor. I used to always go there. Okay, the expressions would love to, would hate to, would like to. These are Do you want to come to the cinema with me tomorrow? Yes, I do. Or that's not yes, I do. It sounds direct. If you want to show more enthusiasm, you could say, yeah, I would love to. I would love to. I would love to go with you. So it's like you really, really want. What should we do for summer? Where should we go on holiday this year? Oh, I would love to go to Colombia. I would love to go. Like, I really, really want to go to Colombia. I would hate to be stuck at home again. So that's the opposite. I really, really don't want to. We say, I would hate to. What's the difference between the sentences email does not exist and email is not exist? The first one is correct. Email does not exist. Email is not exist is incorrect, quite simply. English brain. I'm from Yorkshire in the north of England. Some say that even native speakers speak in the B2 level. Do you agree with this? No, because the B2 level for me, by definition, includes a lot of mistakes. It requires that it means you lack a certain fluency. Now, I think when you could say that the average native speaker or lots of native speakers use vocabulary that is of a B2 level, that they don't use very advanced vocabulary. And this is quite true. I think some people do speak with a very advanced vocabulary, but lots of people just tend to use basic vocabulary in their daily life. Yeah. Maybe not B2, but I don't know. Naomi, what's the difference between would you and could you when you politely speak to someone? Not much. Not much, really. Would you close the door? Could you close the door? The second one, could you, is perhaps referring to ability more. Like, could you, could you, could you, could you reach that thing on the shelf up there? I'm too small. Could you reach it? Are you able to? But generally, could you and would you, when you're asking for something, it's just a polite way to ask for something. Okay, Greg, please respond me. Please answer me. I've been afraid about my pronunciation of can and can't. So I usually say cannot instead of can't. Is this a good idea? Yes, it's a good idea because the only important thing is that the other person understands you. If and you are not alone here. Lots of students have difficulties between can and can't. And it's a strange one because you make one tiny mistake with the vowel and the other person understands the exact opposite of what you want to say. So normally, if you make a little mistake, the other person maybe still understands or they don't understand. But with this, they understand the opposite of what you want to say. Here's the trick. Can in the positive is normally pronounced like this. Can, can, can. So it's like a K and then N. Can. I can go. I can write. I can read. I can come. Can you come? Can you join me? Can you do it? Can. All right. The negative is like what you drive. Car. I drive a car. I can't go. I can't join you. I can't hear you. But it's super important to make that vowel in the middle long. Think of your car. Car. I can't go. Okay, I've heard some sentences in podcasts with this comparative. The more you read, the better your English skills will be. This is a nice grammatical structure with comparatives. The comparative, the comparative. A very common one is the bigger you are, like if you're tall and big, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. Imagine a little person fighting a really big person, and the little person is afraid, but they say, don't be afraid, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Let's go to buy some what? Cups. Let's buy some cups. The cheaper they are, the more you can buy. The hotter it is, the more sun protection, or the colder it is, the more clothes, or the warmer clothes you need. Good structure for comparatives. All right, Nasakat. Ali, what's the difference between and among? Between is in the middle of two things. Among is in the middle of lots of things. Okay, so there's three people, and this is you. You are between Sally and Andrew. You are between these people. If there's you and 10 people, we could say you are among your friends. What's the difference between got and gotten? Got is British, gotten is American. So I have got is English. I have gotten is American. Will you be doing such broadcasting every month, at least once? I would like to, but it's not realistic with my life at the moment. So I love doing these. I do, but I can't commit to doing them with a certain frequency at the moment. Pushbar, which sentence is correct? Do you have any apples, or do you have any apple? After the word any, we need either a plural or an uncountable. So, do you have any apples? Is correct. Do you have any time? Do you have any money? They're correct, because time and money are uncountable. But if it's countable, like apple or pens or friends, then it needs to be in the plural. Do you have any friends in Scotland? Yeah, the question earlier, which one is correct? Email does not exist, or email is not exist? Because exist is a verb. It's a normal verb. Okay. If you want to use the verb to be, like is, then you need an adjective after. So you could say email is invalid. Email is incorrect. Email is non-existent. All right, an adjective, that's fine. But with a verb, the negative of a verb, does not. It does not go. I do not speak Japanese. The email does not exist. All right, what's the difference between sort of and kind of? Nothing. They're both good, both correct, both common, and both mean the same. Could you please make a podcast? A few months ago, I was considering it. I was thinking about doing a podcast, and I stopped considering it. And I might do it on in the future. It's something that I might enjoy doing, but I just, and when I was starting planning it, I just realized that it's a lot of work, and YouTube is a lot of work, podcast is a lot of work, and I thought, okay, maybe I should make sure I'm able to do everything without stress before doing such a big new task like creating a podcast. But maybe in the future, Omid. Right then. Currently, it's quite cold in the French area where I live. 5 degrees, 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Which temperature do you have, and do you use Celsius or Fahrenheit? Well, the temperature now is 14 degrees. Now, it's cold in the morning here in Spain, like where I live in Santiago de Compostela. It's the northwest corner of Spain, and it's about 1 degree in the morning and about 15 degrees in the middle of the day. So it's a big difference. In Spain and in England, we use Celsius. In America, they use Fahrenheit. Can we do conversation in English without knowing much about grammar rules? I think there are more important things than grammar. I do, because communication is about me speaking to you, you understanding me understanding you, and it being easy. That's the most important thing. If your English is full of mistakes, but I understand you perfectly and it's fun and easy, then that's great. It's much better than speaking to somebody who speaks with perfect grammar, but who is very slow, very thinking all the time about their grammar. So you need to know grammar, obviously, but don't get. Uh, it's not good to get too negative about mistakes. Okay, is it possible for me to talk on a video call? Um, no, please don't make me unhappy with your reply. Now, so since I started, well, since my daughter was born, actually, my first daughter, she's 5 now, and when she was born, I stopped teaching one-to-one classes, and recently I've been doing. I teach now with my courses, and I interact with my students via WhatsApp. So my students send me their English via audio messages on WhatsApp, and I reply via WhatsApp. But yeah, being a dad is a big part of my life, and I find it quite hard these days to commit to different hours the same hour every week. So I love the flexibility of teaching via WhatsApp these days. So sorry, I don't do video classes. I will be doing on the challenge this month. There we go. That's the challenge, the 30-day fluency challenge. If you haven't already signed up, I would love you to join me. And there I will be making an exception and having live classes via Zoom for the group every week during the challenge. Okay, let's just finish up here. I'm going to try to answer just a few more before we finish. How do we pronounce that word when it comes before the letter L, M, and N? This word is pronounced the, unless the next word begins with a vowel. So the table, the pen, the mother, the letter. With a vowel, with the next word begins with the vowel, it becomes the. So the apple, the apple, the orange, the umbrella, the. Why don't you create a series of vocabularies by which each episode tackles a particular vocabulary and different ways it could be used? Yeah, nice idea. Yeah, I did a few a while ago, one about vaccinations, one about coronavirus being in lockdown, but it's a good idea. And if anybody has suggestions for videos, let me know in a comment on one of my videos, because I love suggestions. And sometimes the best videos that I do are because people have suggested them. Okay, I'm going to have to stop soon. Is your native language English? Yes, it is. Born in England. Lived all my life in England until I came to Spain. I think I'm a bit late. Yes, you are, but you can, a little bit later, you will be able to watch the whole video again if you want. Okay. Distinction between the sound this, as bit, bitter, pity, and bet, better, petty. With the first one, the back of your throat is a little bit more contracted. A little bit and with the back of your throat is more open. So a wider sound, the back of your throat. You should feel the difference when you go doing the two sounds. You should feel the back of your throat, the back of your mouth near your throat going Okay. Right, Anne, let's do this. We Van watch wire vital. Any difference between the W and V sound? Yes, always. And the rule is really, really simple. With the W, we don't use our teeth. Okay, your teeth, top teeth, must not touch your bottom lip. You use what I call the lipstick face, right? Imagine you're putting on lipstick. And a trick you can do if you naturally try to use your teeth is just to blow a little bit of air Some nationalities tend to close their mouth, but just blow a little bit of air. We watch wire. Right, then for the V sound, we need to use top teeth, must touch the bottom lip. Like when you say the F of France. The difference between the F of France and the V is you have the same position, but you turn your voice on. So, van, vital. And there are no exceptions. If you see a W, you pronounce the W. If you see a V, you pronounce a V. All right, everyone, we've been on air for about 55 minutes, so we're going to finish there. I would like to invite you one more time to the Fluency Challenge, the 30-day Fluency Challenge. My challenge starts tomorrow, and registration closes today at midnight. So if you can accept the challenge, if you are dedicated to doing one task every day for 30 days to improve your English in 2022, click the link in the description. I would love you to join me in this challenge. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And we'll speak soon. Okay, next video that I do on YouTube should be in 2 weeks' time. At the moment, I'm doing one every 2 weeks because I'm a little bit overwhelmed with things at the moment. As soon as things calm down a little bit, I will return to one video every week. And I hope to be back doing another live lesson for you soon. So take care. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.